Back at it again, and it is an all-out blitz from the Kamala Harris campaign. They are in full panic mode, and they are desperate because just men across the board do not support Kamala at all. All right, and they know that they need men to vote for Kamala in order to win, and it is not happening, and the desperation is only growing day by day. And I'm going to show you how desperate these folks are because Kamala in her campaign released an ad that is just absolutely garbage. It is the cringiest thing I have seen in quite a long time. It is the most cringe ad I've seen probably ever. Probably ever. This right here, if this is their plan to garner men's support, whoever came up with this needs to be fired yesterday. They need to be fired like yesterday. This is the complete opposite of what you should be, the type of ad or the type of blitz you should be trying to do in order to garner support from men. But with that being said, let's dive in.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
I told you guys, whoever made that ad needs to be fired yesterday. That you are not going to garner any support from men running an ad like that. And fellas, chime in. Chime in. Did that motivate you to get out and support Kamala? Let me know. Let me know. Ladies. Oh, man. I mean, ladies, chime in too. Like, do you think your man should be motivated to vote for Kamala based off that ad? Goodness gracious. Oh, man. Apparently, here is the creator behind that ad. Check it out.
A Rorschach test and everyone wondering what they're seeing here. But what was your intention in creating this parody and the substance of the message?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, I think about masculinity a lot because I'm a dad now raising kids. And I think in this country, it's something we don't talk about a lot. And so I had this idea watching the back-to-back conventions where at the Democratic convention, there's men who are looking at the women who they work with or who they're in relationships with admiration and respect. At the Republican National Convention, you have, everything's about size, crowd size, this size, that size. You're playing Macho Man. Literally, Hulk Hogan is ripping his shirt off. I mean, it was such a cartoon of masculinity that it really, the juxtaposition was hilarious to me. Wow, you guys got that picture fast. Holy moly. So I come from comedy, and comedy comes from juxtaposition. And so to me, I was just riffing with my friends thinking, wouldn't it be funny if you took these ideas of like, so macho, you got to tell everyone how macho you are all the time, masculinity, and what I feel is a more real version of what it means to be a man, where, you cry at a rom-com, you braid your daughter's hair, you go pick up tampons from the store if someone needs like, who cares? And so to me, putting those together, but treating it like as if it's a real rugged man political ad would be funny. And I still think it was funny.
Yeah, that's about all it was. It wasn't motivating at all. And that's what political ads are supposed to do. Motivate people to get to the polls. That was just cringe. Goodness gracious. I mean, wow. Here's one of the guys that was in the ad, the black gentleman that said, yeah, I can deadlift 500 pounds and braid out of my daughter's hair.
I started acting at 12, and that's when I fell in love with it. But Nigerian traditional parents were like, no, you're not going to be, an actor. You're going to be a doctor.
Yeah, he's an actor. He's an actor. Like, these aren't even like legitimate. Well, granted, they're voters, but you know what I mean? Like, these are paid actors that were in this ad. These aren't just regular folks like you and I. Like, these are paid actors, people who act for a living. Like, this is, oh my goodness. Oh my, just, wow.
Is actually for all men. I think men are in crisis, actually, in this country. I think that plays out different ways. And not all men are in crisis, of course. And not all men are just at home listening to Joe Rogan, being angry or being recruited to fascism. Some just need therapy, like we all do. I go to therapy, that's great. But I think we need to have a real conversation about that rather than allowing this kind of drift toward this faux masculinity that we see Donald Trump evincing.
And what I...
what I think is funny is that you have these folks sitting up here trying to say that men are in crisis because we aren't supporting Kamala. Like, we're in crisis. And yeah, I agree with her. Not all men are sitting around watching Joe Rogan. I'm one of them, right? I don't sit around and watch Joe Rogan on a daily basis. Am I against watching Joe Rogan? Absolutely not. I have watched Joe Rogan in the past, and I'll probably watch him again in the future at some point in time, but I don't sit around watching Joe Rogan and, oh, I'm a man. No, that's not what I do. And I'm still not voting for Kamala. So what does that have to do with anything? Like, it's just strange that they think that there's something wrong with us men because we aren't supporting Kamala. Like, there's nothing wrong with us. We just don't support that woman. That just is what it is. Like, why does there have to be something wrong with us because we aren't supporting her? Like, what type of sense does that make? Maybe something's wrong with you because you're supporting her. How about that? Like let's flip this around. Like, and she said some of us need therapy. Like, what? Why? Because we aren't supporting? I don't understand. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess they think we're just a bunch of, we gonna sit around, sip a bunch of beers, watch some Joe Rogan, and rip off our shirts like Hulk Hogan. Raw! I'm a man. We just walk around with our chest poked out all the day. Like, come on. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, this stuff is silly. But that just shows their desperation. That shows their desperation. And, I'm gonna leave what else I was gonna say alone. But yeah, they're desperate, and it's absolutely hilarious to watch. But thanks for tuning in as always. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.